Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Logically Left. I am your host, Jeff Waldorf, and I have an interesting show today. So, um, yes, we have our usual mix of disaster, but fun. Okay, not fun disaster, just disaster. And so we're going to start out, of course, with another American citizen. This time a toddler getting deported. Not even deported. It's more like exiled. I don't know. I keep using the you know the word deported, but really it is an exile. You were sending people to a country that they're not actually from. They don't actually belong in, and they're not citizens. And so, you know, that's what's going on here. So that's of course going to be the disastrous story here. Then I'm going to address rumors. Ooh, we're going to do some rumor mongering. Yeah, we're going to hit the rumor mill about Elon Musk and Katie Miller, wife of course, the American Nazi Nosferatu himself, Stephen Miller. Oh, yeah. That's going to be fun times. Then we have the MAHA report that has a few problems. There are some problems with the Make America Healthy Again, their big report on chronic illness. It is apparently itself has some chronic problems. Okay, we've got chronic problems, many tremendous problems, the worst. And then, of course, we have Joni Ernst. Joni Ernst defending the Medicaid cuts, which went about as well as you could imagine. Okay, so yeah, lots of fun on that one. You're gonna enjoy this. That said, it is a Friday show, so it's gonna be a little bit shorter. I only got 4 segments for you, but trust me, we're gonna have fun with them anyway, and be out of here for the weekend. So that said, before I dive into the show, I just want to remind you all to like and share the stream, the show, if you enjoy what I do. I really appreciate it if you did. And by the way, I do want to see if there are any memberships. Yes, that's it. Chris T, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. That's one of the ways that you can support the show. With that said, why don't we dive right in here? And yeah. Oh, you don't like my music, says RFK keeps making up citations. Yes, but it actually gets worse. Okay, it actually gets worse. You're going to love that story. I thought we'd be watching Trump and Musk. Do I really want to inflict that on you on a Friday? I mean, really? I'm kind of doing you a favor and not talking about that today. So, but anyway, I am going to talk about Trump deporting toddlers. I know, not good. So let's get into it. It appears the Trump administration has exiled another American citizen to a country she does not belong to. Okay, so now this time it is a 2-year-old girl born in the United States to undocumented parents, and so this has a lot to do with, of course, the attacks on birthright citizenship, right? So what the Trump administration has been doing is deporting children of undocumented parents and doing it in a very, well, I mean, not only illegal, but incredibly shady way. Okay, so I'll explain that. But first, the girl, Emanuele Borges Santos, known to her family as Manu, was born in a Florida hospital in 2022. She has a U.S. passport. She has a social security number. She is an American citizen, as American as you and I. Okay. Now, however, the Trump regime says no, not a citizen. In fact, Holman comes out and says, well, we didn't deport any U.S. citizens. I don't know what you're talking about. But yes, she has been sent to a country where she has no citizenship, along with their parents and 94 others. They were shipped off to Brazil. Manu's parents told the Washington Post that they had sought asylum in the United States in 2021 after fleeing violence and corruption in Brazil. Now, of course, in the United States, there is also lots of violence and corruption. So I maybe you should, I don't know, maybe they're better off. Okay. Or not. I don't know. Now, while the courts in Florida were considering the case, though, Borges had taken a construction job. So he worked, he paid taxes, and, again, asylum, doing paperwork, whatever. So as far as I know, legally allowed to be here. Okay. And eventually what happened? They started a family. Manu was born in December of 2022, which led to a judge issuing a stay of deportation. Since, now that child, because of birthright citizenship, is a United States citizen. That's right. And of course, since she's a toddler, she can't take care of herself. So that makes sense, right? Now, according to the lawyer for the family, they were called into an ICE office, okay? So it's not like they were, going and waiting, lying in wait like they have outside of courtrooms or anything like that. They're like, no, come into the office. We got some paperwork for you. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, bad idea. So they go to the ICE office. They were made to sign forms that they didn't understand, and then were immediately shipped off to Brazil. And that's it. They told the Post, the lawyer did, that the U.S. government is deporting their own citizen. Again, it's technically not deportation. It is exile. Okay? If you're taking a citizen and shipping them out of the country with no way to return, that is an exile. All right? And one that the administration is now claiming was by choice. Oh, see, the parents, they chose to do it, right? But that paperwork that they signed was probably only printed in English, all right? Which was likely a trick. So they can say, oh, well, the parents signed the paperwork. Well, totally given a choice then, right? Because they signed it. I mean, it's right there. Except that, no. But here's the thing. A DHS spokesperson told the Daily Beast just that, right? The media and the Democrat politicians are force-feeding the public false information that U.S. citizen children are being deported. Exiled. That's as false and irresponsible. Parents are asked if they want to be removed with their children, or immigration and customs enforcement will place the children with someone the parent designates. Now, again, they probably did ask, to be fair, but they probably asked in English with no translator on purpose. Okay? It's not a stretch to think that they're doing all of this, setting this up in a way where these people do not understand because they don't speak English, or maybe their English isn't that great, all right? And so all an effort to try to trick them into signing away their rights and to have them sent to another country with their U.S. citizen child, all right? So the administration, though, can say, well, of course we gave them a choice. Yes, of course. But the parents disagree. They said, no, we were not given a choice. Her father, Edevan Borges de Santos, said, quote, they simply deported us. As soon as we were done with that paperwork, whatever it was, they just sent us out. This is incredibly evil, which is totally on brand for the Trump administration. Okay? But, all right, but anyway, so that happened, but what happened to Manu? Is she okay? I mean, so far, she seems to be doing better than some of the other children, U.S. children, that were sent to another country. But not great, though. When they arrived, Brazilian officials were surprised to see an American toddler, because that's what she was. She is an American toddler. Quote, we'd never seen another case like this, said federal police officer Alexandra Oliveira Medeiros Reyes, speaking to the Post. All right, yeah, but what about our immigration status? That's pretty important, right? Currently, Manu is allowed to stay in Brazil on a tourist visa. Because remember, she is now in that country as an undocumented immigrant. Irony of ironies, right? As such, she has no rights to receive health care or education in that country. Her visa is a temporary visa. It is set to expire within weeks. She has no real pathway to citizenship in Brazil. The girl is stateless. All right. She has no country at all. Now, that said, it's not like Brazil, the government is just completely ignoring it. No, they're looking into creating a temporary citizenship just for her case, that would allow her to maybe stay in this country or that country until she is 18. Once she becomes an adult, she would have to come back to the United States. She would be deported to the U.S. Crazy. Now, that said, at the moment, she is an undocumented immigrant. She has no rights, no citizenship, no state, nothing. Now, that, of course, has her mother very concerned. In fact, she was like, what if we need to take her to the doctor? We can't do that. We don't have the rights to medical care. Not that this administration actually cares, because they don't. They have already sent, as I mentioned before, American children to other countries. In fact, just last month, 3 U.S. citizens, ages 2, 4, and 7, were exiled to Honduras, along with their undocumented parents. One of those children happens to have cancer and was sent there to Honduras with no cancer medication. It is very possible that at this point, she she is either dead or will be soon. Whatever happened to being pro-life? What? I thought we were supposed to be, according to these people, a Christian nation. What does the Bible say about immigration anyway? Or, of course, letting children die because you sent them away. Yeah. Look, they're neither of those things, okay? There is no empathy. There is no compassion. There is just nothing but cruelty for the sake of cruelty. And of course, whenever I bring that up, the right, and I've had plenty of these conversations in my comment section, online, whatever, they'll immediately dismiss it by saying something like, oh, no, if you're here illegally, you have to go. You need to follow the law. You should have followed the law. 2-year-old that wasn't even born. Wait. I think they forgot, or really they just wanted to ignore the fact that claiming asylum is legal. And again, if you're born here, you are a citizen. Birthright citizenship. That's what it's called. All right. And look, asylum, by the way, too, which is what the parents were claiming, is a legal pathway to stay in this country. And if they were really concerned about enforcing immigration law, you do know that Elon Musk is alleged to have overstayed his visa, right? Or that Melania Trump had previously allegedly worked as a model without the proper documentation. She was not allowed to work in this country. And speaking of the Trumps, Trump himself has even knowingly, as far as I know, employed undocumented labor at Mar-a-Lago to save money. Okay. But the thing is, the most damning thing about this is that it's barely worth mentioning to these people. Once again, they'll just ignore it. Okay. Anything that runs counter to their cruel beliefs, they will reject wholly and outright. What is the point of bringing up hypocrisy when hypocrisy has no impact whatsoever on these people's minds? No, at the end of the day, you got to call it what it is. These people are racist. And I know it makes her cry and whine and throw fits and get so mad and get so triggered. Oh my God, how dare you call me a racist? You're so mean, you people on the left. we're mean for calling you what you are, but you are good people for sending little children, supporting sending little children to another country without cancer medication so that they'll die. Who's more mean? Who's more mean? Right? Come on. No, the reason that they get so mad is because it's true. This administration is literally using white nationalist policies and language. I mean, one of the most recent stories that came out today is that they're looking to establish an office of remigration. Remigration, what is that? It's basically a euphemism for ethnic cleansing. To get rid of all non-white people from Western countries. Okay, so not just the United States, but Europe. And again, this was coined in Europe. What is the goal here? To create white ethno-states. Y'all can't get more racist than that. Okay? And understand that this is exactly, and Trump has used that language. Musk has used that language, obviously. I mean, again, Trump on Truth Social was talking about, yeah, we're going to do remigration. They know. They know. This is who this administration is catering to. Literal white nationalist racists. And I got news for you. If you like what the Trump administration is doing right now, well, then I guess that's who you are too. And I got a word of advice, all right? I know I ain't going to change your mind. I ain't going to make you stop being racist. So you know what? You might as well just have the balls to own it. They are evil, absolutely, Marion. Absolutely. All right. Now let's have some fun. I know that was a horrible story, but damn. Let's make fun of Stephen Miller, Elon Musk, and yeah. Because, wow, this is a hell of a story. All right. And I got to admit, like, this is a Friday story, so it's rumor mill central, but we are going to have some fun with it. Okay. Chief Twit Elon Musk's time as the White House's special government employee is now over. Now, people are making the mistake of thinking that his time there was a failure. Even, well, of course, I mean, if you're talking about the stated goal of Doge, saving money and all that, yeah, okay, that's a failure, right? But in reality, Musk not only walks away with more government contracts worth billions of dollars, but also the personal data of all American citizens, but also apparently Stephen Miller's wife. What? Wait a minute. Whoa, what? That's not the consolation prize. Okay. All right. Now, this is according to CNN. Okay. Katie Miller, who is a top advisor and spokesperson for Doge, right, is now headed out to work for Elon Musk. Now, okay, that's not speculation. That's what's, and again, there's nothing untoward about just going to work for someone. Okay. But this, and the fact that Miller was melting down on Thursday, subtweeting Elon Musk on his own platform, okay, basically criticizing him. A lot of this stuff has led to some rumors that Katie will not just be sitting at a desk at Doge or whatever for Elon Musk, but she might be under one.
Sexual anarchy.
So I don't know. Look, I don't know for sure. All right. And again, take this with a gigantic grain of salt. All right. But the rumors around all of this are swirling faster than the water in Trump's golden toilet. All right. Again, officially, she will be working for Musk full time, and that's fine. I mean, actually, it's not fine because you know how Elon Musk treats his female employees. Remember, one of the former SpaceX employees alleged that Elon Musk basically offered to buy her a horse. Yes, a horse, of course, in in return for her allegedly giving him a erotic massage. Okay. So, I mean, that's just one of the allegations of sexual, harassment, impropriety, whatever. But again, this guy basically wants to run a harem and have like a weird, like Waco style compound where he's like having babies with a bunch of different women. Again, I think he's got like 14 kids with like 5 or so different women. I don't even know anymore. Okay. It's too much. It is too much.
Sexual anarchy.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, that's official. Okay. That she'll be working for Musk and has actually already been helping him set up interviews unrelated to the Doge work. Okay. But unofficially, according to these rumors, and they are just rumors, and stuff's absolutely wild, right? And again, take it with a gigantic container of salt, okay? But allegedly, the Millers may have been involved with Musk in a throuple relationship, which again, I'm a very open-minded person. I wouldn't do it myself, but I don't care if you do that. I don't care if you're a throuple or if you're in a polyamorous relationship. I'm totally cool with people who do that, right? And not gonna do it myself. No, have no interest in that. Okay, but if you do it, that's totally fine. And that's not the scandal, right? Not the scandal at all, and not the funniest part of this. Okay, no. Allegedly, the Millers had entered into this whole deal because they wanted to keep Musk close in order to run him as an asset. Huh. Okay. With Katie joining Doge to keep a close eye on him, while Steven, of course, went around DC saying that he was running Musk using his wife as Musk's handler. Okay. Now, perhaps they needed to do that because Musk was alleged to have been using enough drugs personally to bring down a frat house. Okay. I mean, according to the New York Times, Musk may have taken so much ketamine, right, that it ended up damaging his bladder. Okay. That is one of the side effects of taking too much ketamine. Okay. Now, he was also apparently frequently taking Adderall, ecstasy, and magic mushrooms. I don't have any problem with somebody doing that stuff. All right. No problem. Do it in the safety of your own home, all that stuff. Don't do it at work. That's a bad idea. Okay. But what you put in your body is generally your business. All right. To me, right? Now, that said, this alleged drug use, okay, reportedly occurred during a period of some personal turmoil for Elon Musk, including some public clashes with his estranged children, like Vivian, who was awesome, and also the fact that they kept finding additional children. All right. But none of which would surprise me, the drug use and stuff, if any of this is true. But apparently sources close to Musk claim that he was taking ketamine almost daily. Again, that is a very powerful, I believe, anesthetic. And that's and had allegedly at times mixed it with other recreational drugs, which again is not a good thing. Okay. In fact, Philip Lowe, a neuroscientist and former Musk friend, told the Times, quote, Elon has pushed the boundaries of his bad behavior more and more. Okay, and so, yeah, that's a lot of A lot of stuff going on here. Okay. I don't know if it's true. That said, a throuple, which apparently is three, okay, it's a relationship with three people. If they were a throuple, why is Stephen Miller so mad? Why is he mad about, and is now subtweeting, Elon Musk? Well, apparently Musk had been criticizing this administration. I've talked about that before. He's criticized the tariffs, which, again, you could say it hurts his business, the big, beautiful bill, which, adds a massive amount of money to the debt, which, it contradicts the work he allegedly was doing with Doge, to try to cut the budget, but even though it actually wasn't, whatever. But now the alleged stealing of his wife after Stephen had allegedly come up with the plan to try to use her to honeypot Elon Musk. I mean, it's just, this is wild, okay? I love it. I love it. Okay, perhaps he is so mad, Stephen Miller is, because he might be losing his wife to an immigrant. Oh, the irony of ironies. Okay, so good. So good. But again, even if if none of this is real, okay, it's still hilarious. Why? Because you know how the rumor mill operates. All right? You know that they're paying attention to this, that they're seeing all the news reports. All right? They're seeing all the people, maybe not all the people. All right? I doubt my show actually gets to the White House. I mean, come on. I'm not that full of myself. Right? But there are other people talking about this. There's a lot of people talking about this. Okay? You know Stephen Miller is hearing it. You know probably Katie Miller is hearing it. Okay? And certainly Elon Musk is hearing it. And I wonder how much it gets to them. I mean, and if it does, meltdown. Complete another meltdown. Okay. Now, obviously, having a meltdown is much more than Stephen Miller actually deserves. He deserves a lot worse than these rumors flying around him, right? And his wife. But you know what? At this point, I'll take it. Rumor Miller. There you go. Again, it's fun. I thought it was true myself, until you enlighten me. I don't know if it's true, but I'm still having fun with it. Because why not? Self-control. Booth has some interesting comments here, and let me just back them up. All right. So, yes, says, I'm a pothead, but I still manage a life and a political career. Because you can do that. You can do that. And again, just because you take that, it's like me, for example, right? I do not have an addictive personality. I have ADHD. Okay. I guess you could say the only thing I'm actually maybe addicted to is drinking coffee, right? Because it keeps me awake and gives me some energy, right? That I kind of need for all the crap that I talk about. Okay. So, but whatever. But I have done, edibles. Okay. I don't get addicted to it. And I have a functional life. Everything in moderation. Absolutely. Everything in moderation. So you can do things and you can have fun like that without falling into addiction, as long as you do things in moderation, and that's it. And yeah, again, that also has to do with coffee. I have 3 of these a day, right? 2 of them are actually half calf. So I have half calf, and that's it. So there you go. But yes, the legal addiction is coffee. My brain needs it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not addicted to coffee. I'm addicted to what it does to my mind. It just allows my mind to sometimes get out of that brain fog, and allows me to think faster and maybe react faster and just be aware. And there you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just as long as you're not doing too much, because it can be bad for your heart. So there you go. Addictive nature is a better phrase. Saying addictive personality makes it seem like you're the most interesting magnetic person. The most interesting and the most tremendous, magnetic, wonderful, great person. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I get it. Okay. Anywho, let's move on. That MAHA report is just great stuff. Okay. You're gonna love that story. Is Stephen Miller's wife also an alien or a lizard person? I don't know, but I do know that whatever she has terrible taste in men. Just say it. Okay. All right, let's do it. Oh, we got some ChatGPT up in here. You're gonna love that. Okay. It appears that RFK Jr.'s Health Commission report is filled with AI slop.
Oh, no!
This is according to an investigation by Not Us, who apparently found dozens of errors in this MAHA report, including broken links, the wrong issue numbers, and missing or incorrect authors. Some studies were misstated, of course, to back up the report's conclusions. Big shocker there. Or they didn't exist at all. At least 7 of the cited sources were entirely just made up.
Whoopsie.
Oh, except that it's likely actually on purpose. So, but there's more. Okay, it turns out that, once again, they may have just ChatGPT'd this entire thing. And I'm not just guessing here. They actually found markers showing that it was ChatGPT'd. Okay, another investigation by the Washington Post found at least 37 of the 522 citations appeared multiple times throughout the report, and notably the URLs of several references included AI site. Yes, that is a marker that OpenAI applies to resources provided by AI. Wow. Okay, then. This is the report that RFK Jr. claimed, it's a gold standard study on chronic illness. This is how we're going to make America healthy again. All right, we're going to find all this stuff. All right, somebody ChatGPT this. All right, that's it. Wow. Hey, gold standard? Nah, more like fool's gold, everybody. Or like those coins that are actually, they look like coins, but they're actually made out of chocolate. Yeah. So let me give you some examples in this report, okay? 2 supposed studies on ADHD medication, advertising, did not actually exist in the journals where they were claimed to be published. Okay, wow. Now, Virginia Commonwealth University confirmed to Not Us that researcher Robert L. Findling, listed as an author of one paper, never actually wrote it. Didn't write that paper. There was another citation that basically loops back around to itself, to the Kennedy report, when you search it online. Oh, you cited yourself. Oh, well, gold standard, everybody. Gold standard. Wow. Harold J. Farber, a pediatric specialist supposedly behind some research on asthma overprescribing, told Not Us that he never wrote the cited paper and never worked with any of the other listed authors. Oops. Not Us also found the paper systematically misrepresented the existing research. For example, one paper was claimed to show that talking therapy was as effective as psychiatric medication. The statistician, however, Joanne McKenzie, said that this was absolutely impossible, as we did not include psychotherapy in the review. Oh, sleep researcher Mariana G. Figueroa said her study was mischaracterized, no surprise there, with the report incorrectly stating that it involved children rather than college students, and cited the wrong journal entirely.
Whoopsie.
Oh, boy. While pediatric pulmonologist Harold J. Farber was named as an author of a study, the MAHA report cited in support of its claim that American child, that's verbatim, American child are on too much medicine. Yeah. There you go. Farber obviously denies writing the report and noted that he has worked on similar research, but the conclusions of his research are not accurately presented. Shocker. Oh, wow. Honestly, look, this is not at all surprising. Shouldn't be. What did you expect from a crank that had literal brainworms and swims in shit-filled creeks for fun? What did you expect? What did you think he wasn't going to fill his report with the same stuff that he found floating in that water? Come on. Come on, everybody. Come on. This report was embarrassing. Okay. It was so incredibly embarrassing. Okay. That you have White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt coming out, and even she had a difficult time defending it.
A notice investigation found that the Hallmark MAHA Commission report that was released last week cites studies that appear to not exist. We know that because in part we reached out to some of the listed authors who said that they didn't write the studies cited. So I want to ask, does the White House have confidence that the information coming from HHS can be trusted?
Yes, we have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS. I understand there were some formatting issues with the MAHA report that are being addressed, and the report will be updated, but it does not negate the substance of the report, which, as you know, is one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government and is backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government.
And a quick follow-up, can you talk about what tools or research goes into production of these kinds of reports? For instance, is it AI that's used to put together these reports now?
I can't speak to that. I would defer you to the Department of Health and Human Services. What I know is just what I told you.
Okay, that reporter, great questions. Okay, awesome questions. And props to her, okay, for doing that, for asking them. But wow, was that uncomfortable. Obviously, Carolyn Leavitt, she lied her way through it because that's her job, okay? But it's literally embarrassing. I mean, if you know anything about anything, that's embarrassing. Okay, this is North Korea levels of gaslighting going on. Okay? We've got formatting issues. Really? Formatting issues. Are you serious right now? Are you shitting me? Okay, that formatting issue. Oh yeah, sure, everybody. Yep, formatting. I mean, it's the lowest amount of effort for something that is just extremely embarrassing. And you know what? Like, okay, obviously AI is a threat to people's jobs and all that. And there's a lot of stuff going on with AI, with the usage, and not to mention the freaking energy requirements and water requirements that are used to run generative AI. It is a complete and utter disaster. With all of that, though, you do get instances like this where it's just downright hilarious. Okay? And that's it. I mean, you have the government, you got the people that are literally in charge of the nation's health, which also is a disaster, by the way, using AI to write their ridiculous reports, and then apparently They just type in a prompt or something, and they're like, all right, good enough. Once it spits out the result, copy, paste. We're done. MAHA. I mean, it's so incredibly low effort and ridiculous, but 100% on brand from the comical disaster that is MAHA as well as MAGA. The one thing AI is good for is medical and scientific research. I mean, if you wanted to sit there and like crunch numbers, yeah, that's great. You know, like have it crunch the numbers, right? But for God's sakes, don't make AI do art, and don't make AI do actual studies, okay? Because they can't do it, okay? No, terrible, ridiculous, bad idea, right? I mean, if anything, AI is supposed to be. I would like to see it used, you know, to help with research, okay? That's perfectly fine. Because it can be helpful. There are situations where AI can be very useful and help. This is not one of those situations. And so, I mean, and again, you have people that are just so low effort and so clownish that they use it anyway for stuff like this and completely make an ass out of themselves. Okay, anyway. It's great for early cancer detection and genetics, for example. Yeah, like I said, the crunching that numbers, crunching the research and stuff faster than what a human can do. Perfectly fine. But when you start like extending it to art and music and things like that, and doing stuff like this where, you know, you're trying to generate actual scientific reports without like fact checking, because you know the AI is only as smart as the inputs, and so you know if you have people that are stupid that are inputting all this stuff and not checking it, then you're going to come out with this. Okay, that's the last thing I'm going to say for the AI. Okay, but we're going to move on to this last story here, and that's Joni Ernst. Yeah, if you thought that this is a disaster for people's healthcare, RFK Jr., well, it's okay, though, because apparently we're not going to live long enough. At least poor people are not going to live long enough to really be affected by MAHA, because, you know, we're all going to die from lack of healthcare due to Trump's big, beautiful bill. Oh, great. Yeah, fun. Garbage in, garbage out. Absolutely. Republican Senator Joni Ernst was jeered during a town hall over her support for massive Medicaid cuts that are inside of Donald Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill.
Again, it's corrections of overpayments and people that have not been eligible for these programs by law as it is currently written. So when you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they're not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. For heaven's sakes, folks. Okay, no, but well, what you don't want to do is listen to me when I say that we are going to focus on those that are most vulnerable. Those that meet the eligibility requirements for Medicaid, we will protect.
So, okay. Oh, yeah, look, when members of the crowd were like, people are going to die. Oh, well, we're all going to die. Oh, okay. All right. Wow. First off, let me get to the details. Let me get to the facts here before I get into anything else. Undocumented immigrants, and listen here, Joni. Okay, listen real close. They're not eligible to get Medicaid. Yeah, if you want me to slow it down, I could do that. Okay, I don't want to have to, but I can. Okay, undocumented immigrants do not get Medicaid. They are not eligible. All right, there is a list of people that qualify to get these benefits, to receive these benefits, right? Now, undocumented immigrants are not on that list. They're not qualified. They don't get it. And not only that, but many immigrants who are in a legal status in the United States are also ineligible because they are not on that qualified list. What she is saying right there about undocumented immigrants getting Medicaid is not true. It's just not true. The only thing that she said that was actually true is we're all going to die. Well, yeah, we know that, moron. Of course. The point is that people are trying to make in the crowd is that people without healthcare, if you rip healthcare away from millions of Americans, they will die sooner. Yes, I know, crazy, right? And that's exactly what this bill does. Okay, the bill combines $1 trillion in cuts to both federal and health and food programs. Okay, as a way to offset the cost of nearly $4 trillion in tax cuts that the lion's share of the benefit goes to the very, very rich. Okay, that's the reality of this. It's about $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. All right, that's it. That's it. And this would result in an estimated 8 million fewer American citizens having health insurance. That means they can't go to the doctor, they can't get their medication, can't do any of that. Okay? So, according to the Congressional Budget Office, many struggling Americans who currently meet the eligibility requirements for Medicaid will likely lose their health care as a result of these cuts. That's it. They lie, of course, about this by claiming, it's only the undocumented immigrants will lose it. Only the lazy men who are sitting around playing Xbox, only they'll lose Medicaid. Thing is, again, as I mentioned, undocumented immigrants don't actually get it in the first place. And the other part of this is the claim that work requirements are necessary. So we're putting those in to get rid of the freeloaders. No. Here's the thing. 64% of adults, okay, this is Medicaid recipients that are adults, 64% of them already work. They have jobs. They make money. Now, these are people, though, that generally work in jobs that do not offer health insurance, okay? And also those jobs don't pay enough for people to be able to afford their own health insurance. Okay, think of the people that make your food, that clean your hotel room. They make so little money at their jobs, okay, that they have to have Medicaid. These people working at Walmart, the nation's biggest employer, make so little that they cannot afford health insurance. And health insurance, of course, is so expensive that you can't afford it either, even if you have a decent job. So, of course, the Republican refrain to this is, well, just get a better job then. Okay, but if they do, and many of them have, then who's going to make your burger? Then you guys complain about, why am I have to wait so long for somebody to make my hamburger? I mean, what's next? Literal children? I mean, it's not like they're not trying, because Republicans have been trying to kick out the immigrants, okay? So child labor is literally the next step. They're already doing it in Arkansas, okay? So, but anyway, getting back to that figure, 64% of people on Medicaid, they already work. They already work. Okay, what about the rest of them then? And that's not 100%, 64. Well, The rest of them actually have a really good reason not to work. 12% of them are primary caregivers. 10% have an illness or disability where they can't work, and 7% attend school. Oh, those are good reasons. But apparently, Republicans still believe that you do not deserve health care. Okay? Well, you know, those people say they should just find jobs. They already have jobs. Well, I guess they should get better ones then. Again, it's so easy for them to argue in circles endlessly. That's it. The reality is work requirements do not help people get jobs. They just don't. Arkansas, and I already mentioned, doing child labor, well, they also tried more work requirements for Medicaid. And you know what they found? No significant change in the employment status. That's right. Didn't help people get jobs. Okay. Now, one thing does help employment, people get jobs. And you know what that is? Expanding Medicaid, expanding healthcare. Oh, who'd have thunk it? How? How does that work? Well, you see, expanding healthcare means that people with chronic conditions will be able to manage it. That's right. They can manage it. They can afford medication. People can get mental health treatment. Turns out all of those things actually do help regular people with these conditions get and keep their jobs. Amazing, isn't it? Wow, what a coincidence. Really? Yeah. Look, here's the thing, okay? People, they want to work. People want to work. People want to feel useful. People want to have their own money to spend. People want that security to live their lives, to have a good life. Healthcare is an essential part of having a good life. If you do not have your health, what do you have? Nothing. Nothing. Okay? And that's what Republicans want. That's what they want to give you. They want to give you nothing. Okay? And in doing so, they're trying to take the healthcare away from the most vulnerable people, the poor, so they can line the pockets of the very rich. That is the reality of this bill and what they're trying to do to all of us. All right. They punish the poor, and that is all. Yeah, and it's social Darwinism. Okay, social Darwinism underlines so much of what the Republican belief system is, the conservative belief system. They think that if you are poor, you do not deserve to live. Simple as that. If they think that you are poor, that you are less moral, that you are not, good enough, smart enough, not hardworking enough, not godly enough. Yes, that factors in. There's a lot of Calvinist kind of teachings, tied up in that belief. And so they think that if you are not a wealthy person, then you obviously are not moral, and you messed up, and you made mistakes, and you basically earned your poverty. You earned your poverty just like the rich people earned their wealth, even though there's a lot of people that are born into extreme wealth that didn't do a damn thing to earn it. Like Donald Trump, who was just born into a rich family and inherited tons and tons of money, like $400 million, and then probably would have made more had he just kept it into a certain kind of savings account, and that's it. A prosperity gospel as well. Yes. Yep, that's a part of it too. And once again, it says that the rich deserve to be rich, and they should be rewarded more for being rich because they're obviously better than you. And that's what it comes down to. They think that rich people are ultimately better than everyone else, and they deserve everything, and you deserve nothing. I mean, I'm trying to avoid calling the the weird desire to amass so much wealth. I'm trying to avoid calling it a mental illness because I think and I think that's a bit of a not only like mental illness, blaming people with mental illness. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that road. Okay. I think it's more of like a societal illness that these people are, conditioned, I guess, by our society and capitalism to amass as much wealth as possible by stepping on as many people as possible. And again, I think it is a societal ill. And not exactly a mental one, but one that is a massive problem for having an actual functional society, which we no longer have. We have a very, very dysfunctional, messed up society where people put wealth above human lives all the time. And it really is incredibly fucked up and super, super sad. So, yeah. It's expensive being poor. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Whew. That's all I got, by the way, for the show. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and share before you leave. Vitengale, good to see you. Thank you for continuing your membership. Appreciate that. Glad to watch you live. Please cover Mayday USA. I will look into that and see exactly what happened. I know that there was were some people talking about the protests that happened in Seattle. I'm still looking into that because now there's a whole kerfuffle over it. Okay, and now you got both sides that are like, you got a anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe you would violate my religious rights, my First Amendment freedoms. And then you've got people on the LGBTQ plus side, the counter protesters that are like, these people are anti-trans bigots that are trying to get a rise out of everybody. And that's why they're doing these protests there. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot going on there, and the administration, they're ridiculous, religious freedom people, led by Paula White, their commission. Now they're gonna look into it. Oh boy. So yeah. All right. Anyway, thank you for watching. Once again, if you want to sign up to become a supporter of the show, hit the join button below or go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/jeffwaldorf, and sign up, support us, and, for the stuff that we do, the commentary, etc., if you enjoy what I do. With that said, everybody have a good weekend. I don't think it's going to be great for anybody, but at least try it to be good, try to have it be good, and step away from the politics if you have to, because certainly we could all use a little bit of time to mentally recover before diving back into the garbage fire that is our political system. So take care of yourselves. And that's part of self-care, by the way. Self-care to continue the fight. Okay, you got to give yourself a break every once in a while. With that said, take it easy this weekend. I'll be back here Monday for more disastrous stories, as usual, and more commentary. With that said, thank you all. Love you. And remember, change begins with you. We'll see you on Monday.